These are 4 money tips that you can apply immediately to see results. Whether you have financial goals, you're doing a financial reset, or you have a challenge for yourself this year, if you apply these tips, I promise you, you will succeed. Now, these tips are easy to apply. It's not going to cost you anything. It doesn't take a lot of skill set. These are things you already do, so you can apply them now. And then it doesn't take a lot of time. So if you're busy, I promise you, it won't take a lot of time to apply them. The fast tip is budgeting. Budgeting is so important because it shows you exactly what you do with your money. A lot of people, if you ask them, what do you spend your money on? They're not very clear on that. So a budget forces you to do an audit of your finances. It shows you exactly where your money goes. So sit down, list down your income and your expenses, look for possible cutbacks, look at subscriptions that you don't use, and then look for ways to save money. So this brings us to a second money tip, which is saving. Saving is critical again because you never know what's going to happen. My father used to say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So immediately, I would encourage you to set up an emergency fund. Studies shows that many Americans do not have an emergency fund, which is scary. An emergency fund is about $1,000 set up for anything that could happen in life. So your car could break down, your pet could get sick, things that you cannot plan for are what an emergency fund is intended for. The next thing after you set up at least $1,000 in that emergency fund is to make sure you save at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Why is that important? You could lose your job, you could get sick. These are things you don't plan for. However, if you have saved up at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, you are able to ride the tide. So I would encourage you to first create that budget, see what your expenses look like, and then now start saving towards covering those expenses in case something happens. So we now have a budget and we're saving. The third money tip is investing. Investing is so important because you can't save yourself to wealth. Please understand that. A good savings account is good, but it will never give you the returns an investment can. So once you have a budget, you've seen what your expenses are, you know how much is left over, you have your emergency fund, you have your 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, now you can invest what's left over. I'm assuming already you have a 401k, which I'll go over on another video, but whatever is left over once you've gone through your budget, you should invest in a brokerage account. Now, these are easy to open with Fidelity, with Vanguard, various options I'll show you in another video, but the key thing is to ensure that you open an account and you invest the funds in that account. You can invest using different strategies, but the real key here is to understand that what a savings account can pay you cannot compare to an investment account. I'll show you. So on your right, you have my savings account, which is a money market savings account, and then on this other side, you have the brokerage account that I opened. You can clearly see that the brokerage account made way more money than the money market that I had opened for a longer period of time. And that's why it's important to understand that you cannot save yourself to wealth. So if there's anything you take away from this, is that you should invest. Start investing now. And I'll do a video on that, so please follow for more videos. And lastly, the final money tip is to personalize this. That's because we all have different lives, we all have different struggles, so you have to personalize this. It's not a one shoe fits all. So if it's a budget, sit down and create a budget that works for you. If you're going to save, save in a way that works for you. If you're a high income earner, I would encourage you to save more because probably your job is more difficult to replace than, say, somebody in an entry level position. So if you were to lose that job, you could be out of a job longer than, say, somebody who's in an entry level job. Now, investing also is very personal. You may be a high risk taker, you may be somebody who's risk averse, and I'll go through that. So the key thing is to make sure you personalize it so that it works for you and it meets the goals that you have. Follow for more, and thank you for watching.